Welcome to Harry Delarusso Stadium, home of the 2018, 2019, 2021, and 2022 WFA Pro National Champion Boston Renegades. Thank you as always for braving the lovely questionable New England weather. This is the WFA Pro Eastern Conference Final. The winner will earn a spot in the National Championship game in Canton, Ohio at Tom Benson Field. The Renegades are 7-0 and fresh off a 17 to 14 win over the DC Divas. Tonight, they will clash with the new National Conference rivals, the Alabama Fire. Alabama beat the Pittsburgh Passion in a round one thriller, 8-7. Talk about a defensive match. Alabama is also undefeated at 7-0 and is the conference #2 seed.
Oh, I can hear somebody. Yep, we're good. What did you do? Okay. All right, conference. Hi, Margot. That's me. We're going to be fighting about this all day. And at the end of the day, I don't want it too dark because it sucks when you're doing filming. So we're going to have to compromise. How's that? My f-stop is on 116. Where is it in relation to the ND? Yep. Oh, 4.4, that one? Yep. Is that 4.5? Looks like 4.5. Yeah, 4.5.
Let's give a warm Boston Renegades welcome to tonight's opponent, the Alabama Fire. Now let's hear it for your four-time consecutive national champions, your Boston Renegades! Presenting our flag today is Cahill's Army. Singing our national anthem today, we have a very special guest with us. It is Lisa Bello, an R&B artist. She's born and raised in Boston and is an award-winning R&B singer-songwriter who infuses her performances with soul, swagger, and depth of feeling that make up the roots of this East Coast-bred artist's singular style. She has written songs for hundreds of artists across the globe and uses her voice beyond music through her activism in the community. Lisa is known and recognized for a lifetime of songwriting, vocal ability, and humanitarianism, having been awarded the John Lennon Songwriting Contest in the hip-hop category, Boston Music Awards Female Vocalist of the Year, and R&B Vocalist of the Year, the New England Nightlife Independence Artist of the Year, and Out Music Awards Humanitarian Songwriter of the Year. She completed her third U.S. tour last spring after releasing her latest album, Wait Just Listen. Also, she can fight. Please rise for the singing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly seen, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's Saturday night, and that means it's time for some football. We are live from the iconic Harry Delarusso Stadium in Revere, Massachusetts, where two undefeated powerhouses clash in a battle that will determine who advances to the national championship. It's the Alabama Fire coming in 7-0, visiting the four-time champion, the Boston Renegades, also a record of 7-0. Hello and welcome. I'm Luis Sanchez, happy to be with you here on Revere TV and FTF Sports. It's a National Conference Championship game. The Alabama Fire coming in, beating the Pittsburgh Passion 8-7 in a thrilling game a few weeks ago. Led by Courtney Billingsley and Kelly Smith, this offense is one to watch. On the opposite side, the Boston Renegades, they beat the DC Divas for a third time this year, 70-14, dominating win from start to finish. Led by Allison Cahill in her 20th season and the top scoring offense in the WFA, this Renegades team looking for a fifth straight national championship. We have a credible matchup in store for you tonight. Coin toss taking place at midfield. We'll have all the action here on Revere TV and FTF Sports.
Alabama won the toss, and it looks like they deferred.
Back here to Harry Delarusso Stadium, the coin toss won by the Alabama Fire. They will defer to the second half. Renegades will get started here on the offensive side of the ball once kickoff gets us underway. The Women's Football Alliance National Conference Championship game. The St. Louis Slam taking on the Houston Energy in the American Conference Championship game. It's a Renegades roster that comes in number one in scoring. Renegades 365 points this season, 60.8 on average per game. Both are number one in the Women's Football Alliance. Offense comes in nearly 3,000 yards, 2,936. They're averaging about 489 yards per game offensively. Really, the defense has stood tall. They gave up 25 points against DC earlier this year. That was the most points they gave up all season long. Pittsburgh at the end of the regular season, their closest matchup for the Renegades, Boston winning that game 32-12. Renegades started their season on April 29th, welcoming their rivals, the DC Divas. That game a 63-6 victory for the Renegades here at Harry Delarusso Stadium. They then went on the road to take on the Detroit Venom, their first shutout of two. The next one followed against the Pittsburgh Passion back here in Revere. We told you about the 25 points given up by the Renegades. That came in an 84-25 victory for Boston. They closed out the regular season with wins against Tampa Bay 69-0 and that win against Pittsburgh. First round action was 70-14 against the DC Divas. Allison Cahill threw for over 200 yards. Bama set to kick it off here and get us started. This kick is all the way downfield and fielded cleanly. It's Mata. Mata bounces off one tackle and will be stopped at about the 30-yard line. A good return by Ruth Mata. Mata, who came into today's game with 50 carries, 278 yards rushing there on the kick return. It's her third return of the season. Gets her over 80 yards on returns. Shares that duty with Kashani Dumont, number 4 for the Boston Renegades. It's Allison Cahill and this Renegades offense back out on the field. The first time in a couple of weeks since they picked up that win against the DC Divas for Alabama. A close defensive matchup against the Pittsburgh Passion. They'll need that defensive unit to stand tall against this Boston team. And quickly wrapped up is Ruth Mata, gaining about 2 yards on the pickup.
Hand off to Mata. Taken down by number 25,
Ruth Mata, part of the trio of running backs here for the Renegades with Tuti Kuusinen and Catherine Falkowski. Second down for Cahill and this offense. Shantae Bonds in motion, Adrian Smith on the near side, Stephanie Pasquale in the slot. Cahill, hand off to Mata. Mata has a lane on the right side, met immediately by 2 Alabama Fire players. A good tackle by Matrice Presley coming in and stopping Ruth Mata. It's going to be a gain of 1 on the play, so about 3rd and 5 coming up for the Renegades. 2 straight opportunities for Ruth Mata. Cahill, stacked receivers on the near side. Ellison and Pasquale in motion. Flipped it over to Mata. Mata has some blockers in front. Quick close of speed there. A great job by Carrie Isom to come in and stop Ruth Mata before picking up the first down.
Taken down by number 14, Carrie Isom.
Carrie Isom has been a staple on this defense for the Alabama Fire. 44th solo tackle of the season. That's her 58th combined on the season. And it looks like the Renegades will send out their special teams unit for a punt here to start this one. Alabama trying to match up on the defensive sub. The special teams unit gets out. So trying to get a 4th down play here with Tuti Kuusinen. In motion was Falkowski. Little trickery, and it's picked up by Tuti Kuusinen. Well, the freight train picks up a first down for the Renegades.
And the freight train gets the Boston Renegades first down.
Well, great job by Falkowski to create the decoy. Tuti Kuusinen takes the inside handoff and picks up a first down. It looked like Boston was going to try to get Alabama switching there, but the Fire decided to keep the defense out there. A good defensive call there by the defensive coordinator for the Fire, Timothy Jones, keeping the right unit out there. Now Cahill back in shotgun formation. Pasquale in motion, and looks like a flag on the play. It's going to be a delay of game penalty against the Renegades. It's going to back them up 5 yards.
Delay of game against Boston. Back them up 5.
Oh, the fog settling in here on a cloudy day in Revere, Massachusetts. The day started off 85 degrees and sunny. The clouds have settled in. It's cooled down a bit. Cahill in shotgun sends Kuusinen to the right side. 3 receivers on the right. Kuusinen waits for it. Cahill still some time. It got batted out of the air, and it's going to be a forward pass, so incomplete is the ruling on the field, and brings up 2nd down. Well, this Alabama Fire defense really putting the pressure on the Renegades. And Cahill and this offense look out of sorts for the first time in this first quarter. 2nd and 15 coming up for the Renegades. Kuusinen, the running back out there, 44 carries, 352 yards on the year, 7 touchdowns for Tuti Kuusinen. Bama jumped early, free play, and it's Katie Ellison picking up some big yardage there. A flag is on the play. It looked like Alabama might have jumped early. We'll await the official call down on the field. Ellison picks up about 9 yards on the play. So it looks like this one's going to go against Alabama. Going to get John Johnson, the head coach, over for the Renegades to have a conversation with the lead official. Well, Ellison made a great catch, as she has done all season long. 15th reception, up to over 350 yards for Katie Ellison. Has 6 touchdowns.
Offsides on Alabama. 5-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
So it's going to be an offside on Alabama. Boston will get back the 5 yards they gave up to start the drive. It'll be 2nd and 10 coming up for the Renegades at their own 47-yard line. You can see the miss now coming into the screen. Bama trying to send some pressure here. Carrie Isom trying to break through that offensive line. Cahill will switch Cahusin into the right side. Hand off to Cahusin. She'll take it up the middle. Has a hole. There's Tuti. Now she runs into a couple of blockers. And Tuti Cahusin picks up the first down. Tequila Martin in on the tackle for the Fire, but Tuti Cahusin went right into the tacklers after picking up that first down. Well, Boston moving now back into plus territory, into Alabama territory at the 32-yard line. Cahill and this offense trying to go quick. Late sub there was Charlene Tremble coming off the field. Montrese Presley in motion. Presley came in on Cahill. Oh, Solita Pasquale with a nice catch. Did she secure it? She did. Beautifully done by Stephanie Pasquale. It was altered at the line. She was on the ground and still made the catch. Beautifully done. 2nd down and 5 coming up for the Renegades. Katie Ellison forced back out to the outside. Bonds on the right side. Hand off to Cahusin. Has some blockers in front. Cahusin right back towards Tequila Martin and runs over Martin, picking up the first down.
46, Cahusin.
Well, we've seen Falkowski and Mata get used towards the end of the season. Cahusin finding her stride here on this first drive for the Renegades.
Now after Tuti gets another Boston Renegades first down.
First down and 10 coming up for the Renegades, but it's a timeout on the field by the Alabama Fire. Boston moving downfield, looking to score. We'll step aside here on Revere TV and FTF Sports.
20th, yes, that's what I said, 20th season in football. Throughout the game, we will be entertaining you with some fun facts and tidbits about Allison's career. Like, did you know when Allison was only 4 years old, she declared to her family that she was going to be a football player? And boy, was she ever so right. We also want you to join in on the fun, so please bring your questions or favorite memories to the broadcast booth or post. Actually, I prefer if you post on social media, tag the Boston Renegades, and use the hashtag Cahill420. That's Cahill, FOR 20.
Back to action down on the field. Renegades 1st and 10 coming up with 10:58 remaining in the first quarter. Handoff again to Cahusin. And Cahusin is in for a Renegades touchdown.
Get ready for that boom.
Well, Tuti Cahusin now picks up her 8th touchdown of the season. Goes over 365 yards, and the Renegades have jumped on top here on the Alabama Fire, 6-0. Kick is up and good.
And the kick is good. Get ready for that boom.
A 7-0 lead for the Renegades early in the first quarter here on Revere TV. Renegades started the drive and faced a crucial 4th down on 4th and 5. Kahusanen picks up a rushing first down. Boston converted on a few 3rd downs as they moved into Alabama Fire territory, and then it was Tuti Kahusanen who ran right up the middle and into the end zone to put the Renegades on top. Now it'll be Alabama's turn to respond. A Fire 7-0, 3-0 on the road this year, led by head coach Cedric Lane. Picked up wins against Derby City, the Dynamite, 32-6 in the season opener. Picked up 2 wins against Derby City, also shut them out 52-0. In between those 2 games was April 29th against the Atlanta Rage, a 10-point victory for the Fire. They won 30-20. It's a short kick, and it goes into the 50, but rolls out of bounds. A smart play there for the Renegades, but just too much muscle on the kick, and it rolls out of bounds. So it gives an opportunity for Alabama in good field positioning.
Excellent field position at their own 49.
Oh, Alabama gave Boston some room in that little 10-yard, 15-yard corner. But Barden's kick goes out of bounds, so restart at the 46-yard line of the Renegades.
46-yard line.
It's going to be Courtney Billingsley under center. Hands it off. Rush right up the middle for Smith. And a good pickup for Kelly Smith. Picks up about 2 yards. Kelly Smith, her 98th carry on the season. Approaching 1,000 yards. Now at 890 yards on the season. 15 touchdowns for Kelly Smith. Waynesia Thomas right behind her with 222. 3 touchdowns for Thomas on 35 carries. Billingsley has split some time behind center with Sanisha Smith. Sanisha, 292 yards on the season. Handed off again towards Smith. Smith breaks the tackle, runs over a couple of bodies, and gets stopped just before the first down marker. It's going to be 3rd and about 1 coming up. So agile on her feet, Kelly Smith. Broke out for a 71-yard touchdown earlier this season. Her next carry will be her 100th of the season. .896 yards for Smith. Quick handoff to the fullback, and it's bursted through. Looked like a good pickup there by Waynesia Thomas to pick up the first down. So Thomas, with a gain of about 3, picks up the first down for the Fire.
Thomas on the carry, tackled by number 19, Lisa Vincent. Alabama picks up their first down.
Alabama came into today 3rd in the WFA in rushing yards as a team at 1,331. They average about 221 per game. Billingsley sweeps it over to the near side, and a flag on the play. A false start on the Fire. It's going to push Alabama back 5 yards. 1st and 15 coming up for Alabama, a team that's rarely penalized on the season. Just 15 penalty yards coming into today on 3 penalties. So just their 4th on the season for Alabama. It's a team that prides themselves on not making the mental mistakes. Chris Walton, the offensive line coach, will have conversation with some of his line women once they get back after that false start. 1st and 15 from the 40-yard line here for the Alabama Fire. Billingsley, another handoff to Smith. Smith trying to gain the yardage back, gets pushed back by this Renegades defense. Forward progress will give Smith 2 yards on the carry.
Smith picks up 2 on that play, but she's met by just about all of the Boston defense.
Smith, the running back, 5'5", from Birmingham, Alabama, went to the University of Alabama. Smith did not record any rushes against Pittsburgh in their playoff game. Destiny Nelson led the charge with 54 yards on 10 carries. Waynesia Thomas, 11 carries for 50 yards. Billingsley, another flip to the right side, and another flag on the play. Another false start on the offense, and Alabama forced back. It's going to be 2nd and 18 coming up now for the Fire. 2 penalties on this drive have forced them back from where they started. This drive originally started on the 46. Second and 18. Billingsley has yet to throw the ball, has handed it off each time to the running backs. Billingsley, 7 touchdown passes on the season. This is a backwards pass. Nice catch by Smith with the one hand. Turns the corner and gets forced out of bounds. A play that looked like it was going to be a loss is a gain for Kelly Smith.
He's finally forced out of bounds.
Great hands by Kelly Smith on that catch. That one drops to the ground. It's a live ball. 3rd down coming up from the 39-yard line. Renegades defense comes in 3rd in the conference. They've allowed 43 points on the season, 7.2 points per game, both 3rd in the Women's Football Alliance. Alabama scoring 220 points on the season, averaging about 37 per game. That's 4th in the conference. Billingsley in I formation. Fakes the handoff to Smith. Billingsley looking through the middle. High pass. Deflected out. Broken up by the Renegades.
Billingsley's pass falls incomplete as it's tipped.
A great job by Megan McFadden to block that one out of the hands.
15, Megan McFadden. That brings us 4th down.
That's a big stop there by McFadden. You see the arm strength for Billingsley. A great throw. Put it right on the hands. Renegades will send Kashani Dumont back to field the punt. Katrina Fincher going to kick this one down. It's blocked. It's blocked by the Renegades. Live ball. It's picked up. Whitney Zealy was there, but it's given up.
That kick is blocked by number 45.
And a great job to jump on that by Deanna Walsh. Walsh with the recovery.
That's Darcy Leslie. And the fumble recovered by number 53, G.I. Jane Deanna Walsh.
Well, a great job there by Whitney Zealy and Deanna Walsh to create a lane after it was blocked. Walsh lands on it, and good field positioning here for the Boston Renegades after the blocked punt. Fincher had only 1 punt on her credit this season. It was for 32 yards. This one was blocked. Well, Mina Letton and Yamina Roberts have blocks on the season. There's Cahill with a pass to the right side for Pasquale, and Pasquale picks up about 7 yards on the completion. Well, Boston trying to keep it going here offensively and ride the momentum the defense just created.
Looks like 7 gains on the play, brings up 2nd down and maybe a little over 3.
Cahill will remain in shotgun. Mata to the left side of Cahill. 2 receivers to the left. It's Pasquale and Smith. Hand it off to Mata. Mata will burst through, run into a couple of players, gets stopped just a yard short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and inches coming up for the Renegades.
Hand off to Mata. Looks like she was initially touched by number 2, Alicia Thomas, on the tackle.
Mata will remain the running back alongside Cahill. Pelletier and Bonds, the 2 receivers on the right side. Adrian Smith, the lone receiver on the left. Pasquale on the shot in the slot. And Cahill, shotgun formation, gets the calls from the near side. 5:38 remaining here in the first quarter. Cahill hands it off to Mata. Mata has blockers in front. It's Pasquale. Now cuts it back to the left. Mata with Pasquale in front. It's Ruth Mata rushing down inside the red zone. Taken out at the 12-yard line, and Ruth Mata picks up a big first down for the Renegades on 3rd and inches. Well, the running backs have done it all day long. Quick start here and a whistle on the play. It looks like Alabama might have taken a timeout before the snap, and that's exactly what happened. Boston was trying to go quick. Alabama gets the timeout in time, and we'll take a timeout on the field. It's a 7-0 lead for the Boston Renegades. Cahill and this offense in the red zone once we take this timeout here on Revere TV.
And back by popular demand, our concessions are brought to you by the Revere Panthers football team. All proceeds go to supporting the Revere Panthers and their football team. Enjoy delicious grilled items like chili, walking tacos, chicken fingers, hot dogs, hamburgers, fries, and cold beverages to keep you hydrated. If you're looking for something a little bit stronger, don't forget to visit the adult beverage garden to quench your thirst. Available selections typically include Modelo, All Day IPA, Coors Light, a WFA sponsor, assorted high noon flavors, and if you're Finnish or just want to drink like a Finn, there's the Finnish long drink. Prost, everybody.
The Finnish long drink is so good. So we have that later.
I discovered that last year in Texas.
I was told if I joined the team, I have to learn Finnish.
Back to action, down on the field, 1st and 10. Back over for Mata. Mata cuts it back towards the middle and is stopped at about the 5-yard line.
And up to number 22, Ruth Mata, taken down by number 14, Carrie Isom.
It's going to be 2nd and a few yards coming up from the 7.
Gain of 7 on that play brings up
2nd and 3 coming up. Mata in motion. Empty backfield for Cahill. Mata returns back to the left side of Cahill. Pitched in front for Pasquale. Tries to get a couple of legs, and she does. Just chugging her way through. Solina Pasquale gets the touchdown. Well, Stephanie Pasquale now scores her 5th touchdown of the season. Touchdown pass number 24 for Allison Cahill, and the Renegades lead it 13-0. Extra point is up and good. Vanessa Bear continues her streak. Now 35 of 37 on the season. Renegades lead it 14-0 at Harry De La Russo Stadium. Back to Revere, Massachusetts, where the Boston Renegades lead the National Conference Championship game 14-0 over the Alabama Fire here in quarter number 1. Renegades set to kick off following the touchdown pass to Stephanie Pasquale. Made it 14-0 for the Renegades. Another squib kick through the middle. That one fielded by the Fire. Trying to find a lane on the near side. There's some rushers in front. Good job on the backside of that play to come in and make a tackle. It was Maggie Barden who made it all the way down after kicking it and stopping Renegades for the Fire from moving upfield.
Maggie Barden on that tackle, number 88.
Another good start in field positioning for the Alabama Fire.
Allison Cahill facts. Did you know that the first team she played for was the New England Storm?
It's going to be 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line for the Fire. Billingsley back out there. 0 for 1 on the passes, or 1 for 2, excuse me. Toss to the near side for Smith. Smith trying to turn the corner. Renegades trying to close the gap, but Smith's going to pick up some positive yardage there and move Alabama further into Renegades territory. Darcy Leslie in on the tackle there, pushing her out of bounds. 2nd and 6 coming up for the Fire. Alabama trying to use their running game, relied heavily on Kelly Smith to start this one. Billingsley's going to survey the defense. Good cushion for Destiny Nelson on the far side. High formation for the Fire. Billingsley looking back for Nelson. Nelson has one defender to beat and uses a stiff arm. Good tackle by the shoestring. Another great play by Megan McFadden, unfazed. It is going to be a 1st down for the Fire. That could have been a touchdown for Nelson. 2 big tackles, or big plays by Megan McFadden. 1st and 10. Some pressure here for Smith. Bounces off 2 tackles. Looks like she'll get about a yard on the pickup. Renegades sent the pressure.
Met almost immediately by number 23, Spring Gamble. No gain on the play brings up 2nd down and 10.
So 2nd and 10, no gain on the rush there from Smith. One of the matchups Alabama's going to try to exploit on that far side is Destiny Nelson, who comes in with 12 receptions, 225 yards, 4 touchdowns on the season. She's matched up against Megan McFadden. Another toss, trickeration on the end around. Reverse comes to the near side, and a good move there by Nelson to avoid 2 tacklers, but right back to the line of scrimmage. Looked like Darcy Leslie came in, was in on the tackle on Destiny Nelson.
And taken down by number 26, Jocelyn Forrest.
Well, Alabama scored 48-0 against the Carolina Phoenix. 2 shutouts on the season. The other one came against the Derby City Dynamite. Closed out their regular season with a 36-14 win against the Atlanta Rage before taking on Pittsburgh. It was a game that was back and forth, scoreless through a majority of it. Pittsburgh jumped out 7-0 before Alabama responded. This one thrown into traffic. Oh, and bobbled. Intercepted, or interception just bobbled out of the hands of Darcy Leslie. Darcy Leslie has been all over the field defensively. It's going to be 4th and 10 coming up for the Fire. Billingsley will look to the sideline. Alabama's already used 2 timeouts here in the 1st quarter. Don't think they'll try to use one here. So 4th and 10. Sed Lane having a conversation with Courtney Billingsley. And it looks like Alabama will take their final timeout.
And Alabama takes the timeout.
So 3rd and final timeout for the Alabama Fire. With 1:35 remaining in the 1st quarter, we'll step aside here on Revere TV.
During the timeout, we'd like to thank Revere TV, our 2023 season broadcast partner. If you can't make it to a home game, make sure you're tuned in to Revere TV. You can catch all your Boston Renegades action. In addition to Revere TV, we'd like to thank FTF Sports, and that's for the fans. Other big thank yous to our partners, Demand Science, Globalization Partners, Free Media Web, and Vatic. Without you, we wouldn't be here, so thank you for your
1:35 remaining in the first quarter. Back to action down on the field between the Alabama Fire and the Boston Renegades. Two undefeated teams looking for a shot at the national championship. Alabama 7-0, Boston 7-0. Both teams trying to continue their undefeated seasons. For Alabama, their first season in the WFA, joining back after a 2-year hiatus. Pass over to Smith. Smith draws 3 Renegades defenders. That ball almost popped out, but Smith, great security on the catch. Looked like it might have been ripped away, but the whistle had already blown. So Smith picked up a couple of yards, but not enough for the first down. Boston will take over on downs. Well, the Renegades defense is now closed in on Kelly Smith after she picked up a couple of big plays to move Alabama forward. Renegades defense have made the adjustments.
Allison Cahill facts. Did you know Allison Cahill has
So 1st and 10 for the Renegades.
yards passing
They'll start at their own 30-yard line.
to reach that goal?
Allison Cahill being celebrated today for her 20th season. 5-time MVP. Hands it off to Kuusinen. Kuusinen drags a body. Was held up by the shoelace there. Picked up about 2 yards.
And to Kuusinen.
It's going to be 3 yards on the pickup, and 2nd and 7 coming up for the Renegades.
Tackled by number 56, Gio Thomas.
Fans, you can join in on the celebration for Allison Cahill. You can tag the Boston Renegades and use the hashtag Cahill420. Bring your favorite memories, questions, and share any of the highlights of the 20 years for Allison Cahill on or off the field. We'll try to share them here on Revere TV and FTF Sports along with you. Cahill, who has amassed over 100 career victories, has passed for over 25,000 yards. Cahill in shotgun formation with Kuusinen to the left. Fake handoff to Kuusinen, pass to Smith. Smith secures the catch for first down.
Connects to number 10, Adrian Smith. And that is good for a Boston Renegades first down.
It's a first down for the Renegades. Adrian Smith, her first catch of the day. Smith on the season, now up to 17 receptions, 210 yards, and 3 touchdowns. It's a strong receiving group for the Boston Renegades. Looks like we'll get a stoppage here at the end of the quarter. Time has run out after the first 15 minutes of play. It is 14-0. The Boston Renegades lead the Alabama Fire. We'll step aside here for this intermission. Join us back for the start of the second quarter on Revere TV.
If memory serves me correctly, you get 3 for 10 or 8 for 20. Winner gets to go home with half of what's collected. We have had some pretty decent jackpots, so let me just say, you could be walking home with almost $400 to $500.
9 yards.
There we go, and with the changing of the quarters and the changing of the sides, let's give a big round of applause to Cahill Renegades. Danny's got the bundle buster.
We welcome you back to Harry Delarusso Stadium for the start of the second quarter. A good one on hand between the Boston Renegades and the Alabama Fire. 14-0 the lead for Boston as they go back to the offense. Cahill looks for Smith, broken up. One-handed breakup on the far side of the field. Kerry Isom again gets a hand on it. It's going to be a flag on the play. A lot for Cahill this season to come back following the injury last year on the playoff run. Looks like they're going to pick up the flag. So no flag on the play. But Cahill, who was injured on that playoff run, did not get to start the championship game. It was Shantae Bonds who helped lead the Renegades to the championship win. Cahill wants to return back under center in a national championship game, trying to guide her offense downfield, the ball on the 47-yard line. Product from Uxbridge, Massachusetts. Alabama had jumped, but no snap there from the offense, so they get to regroup and reset. 2nd and 10. Kusin in motion. Quick pass to the near side for Bonds. Bonds with the reception. Cuts through. Now cuts it right back to the outside. Shantae has daylight. Shantae Bonds at the 25, the 20, the 15, the 10, and she's in the end zone.
21, Shantae Bonds, get ready for the boom.
46-yard touchdown for Shantae Bonds, and the Renegades lead at 20-0. Well, Happy Feet picks up her 9th touchdown of the season, gets close to 550 yards on the year on reception number 32 for Shantae Bonds. Vanessa Bear and the special teams out there for the extra point. Kick is up and good. There is a flag on the play.
Get ready for the boom.
Flag on the near side of the field. We'll see what the call is. So now 25 touchdown passes for Allison Cahill this season. Goes over 1,600 passing yards.
That flag was for offsides on Alabama. That penalty is declined. Kick is good.
So the Renegades start the second quarter with a touchdown. The pass to Shantae Bonds. Again, her 9th touchdown of this season. It is 21-0. Renegades lead it early in the second quarter. We were talking about Cahill and how great her career has been. Renegades actually got to partake in the high school girls flag football championships at Gillette Stadium back on June 16th. It was the inaugural girls high school flag football championship. 8 schools in a tournament bracket style. Shirley Regional, Chelsea High, Fitchburg, Leominster, St. Mary's of Lynn, Needham High, Peabody, Woburn. They all participated in the tournament. Leominster with a dramatic win over St. Mary's of Lynn. Needed a big defensive stand in that game to win 13-12. Great to see football players, or football, at the high school girls level, flag football, regular football. Renegades were there to support as well with the Patriots at Gillette Stadium on the kickoff return. A good return gets it out to about the 35-yard line. The Fire facing a 21-point deficit. So back out on the field is going to be Billingsley to guide this offense. Waynesia Thomas, an All-American this season for the Alabama Fire, one of 10 All-Americans on the Fire roster. Looked like Alabama was a player short on the field, so they'll send in another receiver on the far side. Billingsley gets some pressure from Fournier. Pass is complete on the near side. It was caught by Blue McFarland. McFarland, her 9th reception of the season. McFarland up to over 80 yards now on the season. Danielle Fournier had a beeline towards Billingsley, just couldn't get her in time before the pass was thrown, and a great job by McFarland. We told you Cahill threw for 385 yards, 4 touchdowns against the DC Divas. Renegades offense racked up 597 yards in total that game, scoring 70 points. Billingsley Floats one over the head of Nelson on the far side. Pass incomplete. It's going to bring up 3rd down for the Fire.
Billingsley's pass was intended for number 3. Nelson falls incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 5.
You can see Alabama trying to mix it up now as Kelly Smith checks back into the game for the Fire. We'll see if Billingsley looks to target Smith. It's been their go-to so far here in the first half. McFarland will move to the slot. I formation, hand it off towards Smith. Almost juggled the bobble towards the outside. Smith, nice stutter step. Now pulls it back inside and picks up the 1st down. Kelly Smith, a great job to elude 2 defenders and picks up the 1st down on a big 3rd down. On open space, Smith is so dangerous. It's going to be 1st and 10 coming up from the 45-yard line for the Fire. A lot of Birmingham, Alabama products on this Fire team. Smith, along with Courtney Billingsley. Billingsley, a product of the University of Houston, went to Winona High School in Alabama, where the Fire play their home games. Another handoff inside for Smith. Smith cuts it back towards the outside. A little hesitation, and now towards the sideline, steps out of bounds. Such a shifty runner. There is a flag on the play. Looks like Aggie Lacey
on Alabama
is the one trying to plead her case. Lacey trying to have a conversation with the officials, but it's going to be holding on Alabama, so that pickup by Kelly Smith is negated on the flag. It brings Alabama back towards the 45-yard line. It's actually going to bring them back with the penalty yardage, so the officials will see where to spot it from where the foul took place. So it looks like 1st and 13 coming up. So 1st and 13 for the Fire. And we told you they came in just 3 penalties for 15 yards on the season. That was 1st in the conference, 1st in the Women's Football Alliance. Billingsley in shotgun formation. Quick pass to the far side, gets it to Nelson. Nelson now gets the pickup about 7 yards and now taken down out of bounds. I think the forward progress there will give her about 8 on the pickup. So 2nd and 3 coming up. You know, 2 times today Alabama has had some great drives. Penalties have halted the progress.
Looks like they gained back that 10-yard penalty. It brings up
2nd and 3 coming up for the Fire on the Renegades 48-yard line. Handoff. Billingsley has to give it up quickly, and there's going to be a 1st down pickup on that rush. It was given up to Thomas. Waynesia Thomas, as we talked about, came in with over 200 rushing yards. 3 rushing touchdowns on the season. McFarland and Rybacek also with touchdowns on the ground for the Fire. We come in one of the best rushing teams in the WFA. 3rd in the conference. Billingsley, another handoff towards Smith. Smith trying to get back towards the outside. Had some blockers in front. It was Stephanie Pasquale who broke through. Forced that one into negative yardage.
He was finally taken down by number 23, Spring Gamble.
You can see Kelly Smith on that far sideline is gassed. She will remain on the sidelines. Take a breather here on this sequence.
Brings up 2nd down and 12.
2nd and 12 for the Fire at the Renegades 46-yard line. Billingsley in I formation, under center. Fakes the handoff, throws towards the middle, overthrown. was looking through the middle.
For Rakitha Davis falls incomplete.
Was trying to get the pass over to Rakitha Davis, the tight end. So 3rd down and 12 for the Fire. Blue McFarland was going to check back into the game. Instead, it's going to be Nelson who checks in. Rakitha will check out. And now a big 3rd and 12 for the Fire here in the second quarter. 9:39 remaining. Looks like a quick snap there. Delay a game penalty coming up against the Fire. And a reminder, Alabama out of timeouts here in the first half. They've already used all 3 of their timeouts. It pushes them back to the 49-yard line.
Very long.
Third and 18 for the Fire. Billingsley, quick pass to the near side, guides Nelson in front. Nelson makes the catch and now is stopped by Darcy Leslie. Leslie with some support on the near side on that tackle.
He was taken down by number 45, Leslie, with a little bit of help from Forrest.
Yeah, Jocelyn Forrest coming in to help out Darcy Leslie on that tackle. Nelson looked like she had a lane down the near sideline. 4th down coming up for the Fire.
4th down and roughly 5.
Offense will stay out there for the Fire. Kelly Smith will check in. Renegades trying to match up here defensively. Smith will be on the right side. Billingsley under center. Drops back, quick pass to the near side. It's intercepted! Intercepted by Carolyn Glynn. Carolyn still on her feet. Breaks through another tackle and gets into Fire territory.
Billingsley's pass is intercepted by number 2, Carolyn Glynn.
Glynn, another interception this season. It's her 2nd interception of the year. And the Renegades take over here in the second quarter.
And with that change of position, it's time for another Cahill fun fact. Allison Cahill isn't only good at just football. She also was a star guard basketball player.
There was a flag. It's going to be declined, and Boston will have possession. So, unsportsmanlike conduct, some unnecessary roughness against the Fire gives Boston 15-plus yards. So the Renegades will take over at the 26-yard line, 1st and 10, already leading 21-0 over the Alabama Fire. Pitched in front for Dumont. Dumont now has a lane. Kashani's tripped up as she breaks through the 1st down marker. Kashani Dumont looking for another touchdown this season. Another 1st down for the Renegades. Dumont with her 7th reception of the season. This is a quick pass from Cahill to Dumont again, her 8th. Now Dumont trying to cut it back to the outside, has blockers in front, runs into a pair of Fire defenders. A good tackle there by Katrina Fincher, the safety. And Dumont makes it 2nd and 1 for the Renegades. Cahill, with the quick release, has gotten this Fire defense on its heels. Mata will move to the left side of Cahill. Bonds, Pasquale, and Dumont on the left side. Abby Pelletier in the slot on the near side. Cahill hands off to Mata. Mata rushes through the middle, and Ruth Mata lands in the end zone. A touchdown for the Renegades. Ruth Mata picks up her 1st rushing touchdown of the day, her 9th rushing touchdown of the season, and the Renegades lead it 27-0. Vanessa Baer back out there for the extra point. 3 of 3 so far today. Extra point is up. And it is good.
Get ready for that boom.
A 28-0 lead for the Boston Renegades here in the second quarter of the Women's Football Alliance National Conference Championship game.
And here's a special shout out. Celebrities have just arrived in the stadium. Yes, that is Aaron Baumgartner and Tim Fu, owners of Family Dinner, one of the Boston Renegades sponsors. And if you don't have Family Dinner, I highly recommend it. It's fruit season, and I got a lovely pint of strawberries.
Back and ready for the kickoff following the score. A rushing touchdown by Ruth Mata to make it 28-0 Boston Renegades over the Alabama Fire here in Revere, Massachusetts. Luis Sanchez, happy to be with you for this National Conference Championship game. Nelson breaks a couple of tackles on the kick return, gets out to about the 45, and is stopped at about the 46-yard line.
Nelson on the kick return.
Well, this Alabama Fire team, as we started talking about, started their franchise back in 2016 in the Women's Football Alliance. They joined the Women's National Football Conference, the WNFC, back in 2019. Took a couple of years off to resituate and regroup their franchise. They joined the WFA at the start of the 2023 season. Undefeated in regular season play. Common opponents were the Pittsburgh Passion and the Tampa Bay Inferno, and both the Renegades and the Fire earning victories against those teams. It's the first ever meeting between Boston and Alabama. Alabama is trying to get back to Canton, as did the Birmingham Stallions. The Birmingham Stallions that play in the USFL won the championship this past season. Looked like an early jump on the near side, so false start. Looked like Nelson might have jumped early here on the near side. It's going to back up Alabama 5 more yards. We talked about how disciplined this team has been all season. They've kind of shot themselves in the foot so far today. Unable to have a clean drive so far. Flags on each of their possessions in this first half. Billingsley will set up in shotgun formation with dual running backs. Hand it off for Smith. Smith breaks the tackle at the line and now picks up about 2 yards on the carry before she's met by Darcy Leslie. Spring Gamble came in on the play as well. 2nd and 13 coming up for the Fire.
Roughly 2 on the play brings up 2nd down and 13.
Renegades are riding a 38-game win streak that dates back to 2018. They have not lost a game since May 19th of 2018. That came at the hands of the DC Divas. 38 straight for the Boston Renegades. Their last home loss came on April 16th of 2016. That also came against the DC Divas. That one almost taken from Billingsley, and now Smith breaks a couple of tackles. Smith going to turn the corner, and Smith is forced out of bounds on the diving tackle on the near side by Brianna Gallo.
Smith. He's finally forced out of bounds by number 24, Bree Gallo.
Gallo saves a touchdown there. First down for the Fire. Big pickup by Kelly Smith. That home win streak, the last loss, wasn't here at Harry Delarusso Stadium. It was back when the Renegades were playing at James O'Connor Stadium at Catholic Memorial in Hyde Park. It's been a long time since the Renegades have lost at home. Quick pass for Nelson on the near side. Nelson has a blocker in front. Nelson trips up at about the 37-yard line, dives forward to the 35.
Pass complete to Nelson, who's tackled by number 14, Megan McFadden.
And Karagai Lunis in on the tackle on the near side.
That brings up second down and 5.
2nd and 5 for the Fire coming up. Billingsley will have Smith out there along with Thomas, the 2 running backs. Nelson on the near side. High snap handled by Billingsley. Now Smith cuts it back inside, back towards the outside, and is stopped at about the 30-yard line. And we told you how good her movements are. Can change direction as good as anybody in the league. Kelly Smith showing why she's one of the top rushers in all of the Women's Football Alliance.
With that run, Alabama has a first down.
4:30 remaining here in quarter number 2. Billingsley and this offense trying to move downfield for the first time against this Renegades defense. They're right at the 30-yard line. Split backs, Billingsley tries to send it over for McFarland, and it's off the hands.
Billingsley's pass was intended for number 25, Blue McFarland, but that falls incomplete.
McFarland,
That brings up second down.
one of the top 4 receivers on this Fire team, just didn't see that one into the hands. Libby Witten now will replace her along with Sanisha Smith. Pitch back towards Smith. Kelly Smith met in the backfield, and a great job coming in, breaking through was Mina Lettinen, and Danielle Fournier coming in to close it off. Lettinen and Fournier, great duo on the season defensively. Lettinen came in with 53.5 combined tackles, while Fournier 50.5. Smith heads to the sideline for a breather for the Fire. Checking in for her will be Tequila Martin. It'll be Martin and Nelson, the 2 receivers here on the near side. Witten and Sanisha Smith on the far side. Billingsley pump fakes, throws it through the middle, tip, it's up in the air off the hands of a couple of players and falls incomplete. It's going to bring up 4th down for the Fire.
Pass falls incomplete, and that brings up 4th down.
We're going to do the tip drill in practice. Probably shouldn't.
Good chance there for Bree Gallo to pick up an interception, just falls right off the fingertips. So 4th down, a big 4th down for the Fire offensively. They haven't put points on the board yet. And if you're the Renegades, another big defensive stop can get the offense back out there with plenty of time to close out the first half. 2:57 remaining in quarter number 2. Shotgun formation for Billingsley. Looks to the right side. That one popped out of the hands. Fournier gets it up, and a fumble recovery. It looked like Whitney Zealy caused the fumble, and Danielle Fournier with the fumble recovery. Well, how about the year for Whitney Zealy, a standout running back for the Renegades and a standout player in general in the WFA, has switched over to defense and has not missed a beat. Whitney Zealy, another forced fumble on the season. It's going to be Fournier's 2nd fumble recovery of the year. Zealy will be credited her first forced fumble. Now Allison Cahill, 1st and 10, drops back, looks for Smith on the near side, and Smith is complete and pushed out of bounds.
And Cahill complete, step number 10, Adrian Smith.
A pickup of about 22 yards on the reception. First down on that catch by Smith. 2:43 remaining. Tuti Kuusinen, the running back. Stacked receivers on the left. Shantae Bonds, the lone receiver on the near side. Ball on the 45-yard line. Passed over to Pasquale. Pasquale waits for the screen to develop. Gets wrapped up after a gain of about 4 or 5 yards on the play. Looks like a late flag comes in. So not sure what was said, but somebody said something. The official took exception to it. And now a conversation between the two officials. You saw it immediately come up, a flag in between the huddle. There was more red jerseys than white jerseys around, but we'll see who said it and who's the culprit. So it's going to be an unsportsmanlike conduct against Alabama. It's the second penalty against the Fire. So it's going to move Boston down 15 yards and an automatic first down for the Renegades.
15-yard penalty for those keeping the scorecard and an automatic first down.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Renegades at about the 26-yard line. Cahill takes the snap, hands it off to Kuusinen. Kuusinen now rushes through at the 15. Tuti chugging along, brings some bodies with her, and she's taken down just short of the goal line. Stopped at about the 2-yard line.
For another Boston Renegades first down.
2:03 on the clock here in the quarter, and it looks like a flag on the play.
We got a flag in the backfield.
Looks like the penalty. It's going to be a illegal hands to the face against Alabama. So automatic first down. So moving from the 2-yard line to the 1-yard line for the Renegades. Boston already leading it 28-0. First and goal. Bonds in motion. Cahill's going to roll out. Dumps it into the end zone. It looks like Katie Ellison might have been held. 2 flags into the end zone. So it looks like a penalty against Alabama, so another first down. It's going to be holding against Alabama. Automatic first down for the Renegades. So Kuusinen, the running back on the left side of Cahill. Smith, the wide receiver out to the left, and Pasquale is near side Shantae Bonds. 1 yard to go, first and goal for the Renegades. Cahill going to send Bonds in motion. Rolling back out, Bonds trying to create some space, nothing there. A pass down for Katie Ellison, but just short. She caught it outside the end zone, so no gain on the completion. Katie Ellison showing off her hands. Second and goal. 1:22 remaining in the second quarter. Renegades trying to utilize the clock here. Hand off to Kuusinen. Kuusinen pushes forward, and she's into the end zone. Second rushing touchdown for Tuti Kuusinen, and the Renegades lead it 34-0.
Boom.
It's a second rushing touchdown for Tuti Kawusin, and now puts her at 9 rushing touchdowns this season. 34-0 lead for the Boston Renegades here against the Alabama Fire. Vanessa Baer back out there for the extra point. 4 for 4 so far today is Vanessa Baer. 37 of 39 on this season. Baer's extra point is up and good.
And Baer's kick is good. Get ready for that boom.
35-0 the lead for the Renegades. Alabama will have 1:01 remaining of time left here in the second quarter. Renegades 6-time division winners, 5-time conference champions, trying to make it to a national championship for their 7th straight appearance. They started 0-2, lost to the DC Divas and the Dallas Elite before turning things around in 2018 with wins against the LA Warriors. They defeated the Cali War in 2019. Back-to-back championship wins against the Minnesota Vixen in 2021 and in 2022. Nelson on the return gets up to about the 42-yard line.
Nelson on the return, taken down by number 4, Shawnee Dumont.
Shawnee Dumont in on the tackle. Still some time here for the Fire to work with here in the first half.
Don't forget to pick up your favorite Boston Renegades merch at the merchandise table.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Fire from the 43-yard line, their own 43-yard line.
You gotta go check them out. Shorty just bought herself one too.
Trying to get the right personnel out there. Billingsley will be back under center. Kelly Smith along with Thomas. Nelson as well, the receiver in between Tequila Martin and Witten. Shotgun formation for the Fire. Billingsley takes the snap, pump fakes, trying to look downfield. Try to guide a receiver down, and that's off the fingertips of Nelson on the far side.
Billingsley's pass falls incomplete, intended for Nelson. Brings up 2nd down and 10.
It's a good breakup on the pass by Darcy Leslie. Checking in for the Renegades on the near side is Lisa Vincent. Second and 10 for the Fire. Nelson moves to the near side. Wind starting to pick up as well as the flag blows from right to left here at Harry Delarusso Stadium. Low snap, flag on the play, and this one thrown downfield. There is a flag on the play.
Billingsley's pass falls incomplete, but there's a flag on the play.
It's going to bring up 3rd down. So false start on the offense.
False start against Alabama.
And the Fire will be pushed back another 5 yards.
Brings up 2nd down and 15.
I ain't gonna lie, I thought we off
2nd and 15 coming up for the Fire. Well, if there's one thing Ced Lane will talk about in the locker room for sure, it's the amount of penalties the Fire have taken in the first half. A team that's been rarely penalized on the season. Been penalized a number of times here in the first half. Smith, nice floating catch, breaks a tackle, runs over a body, and is stopped at about the 42-yard line. Alabama does not have timeouts to stop the clock. So 20 seconds remain, and we'll see if Alabama will just let the clock wind down or if they'll have one more play before the end of the quarter.
Roughly 4 on the play brings up third down and a little over 11.
10 seconds remain, 3rd and 11 for the Fire. Billingsley unable to get the snap off in time. The end of the quarter.
And that's the end of the half.
After 2 quarters of play here in Revere, Massachusetts, it's the Boston Renegades leading 35-0 over the Alabama Fire. We'll step aside here for halftime. You're watching Boston Renegades football and Women's Football Alliance National Conference Championship game on Revere TV.
Check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2, check 1 2.
What did you mention her? Julianne. Julianne. Yeah. Can you back up this one, please?
Ma'am? Coach Johnson. Can you take these from me? I'm sorry. You can just put them on the ground. He's talking. It might take him. Julianne Chalicum here with the head coach of the Boston Renegades, John Johnson. Coach, you managed to shut out a team that you've never played before. Talk about the prep that goes into dominating on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, well, I tell you, they're a really talented team. There's a lot that went into getting ready for this ball club. They got a bunch of athletes everywhere, super duper extraordinary in terms of their playmaking ability on both sides of the ball. So, we just kind of dial down to some basics and beast out up front.
And from the outside, it might look like a perfect game, but what have you seen that they need to improve on going into the second half?
Well, I feel like there's everything we need to play. I'm losing. I got my blood pressure's up right now. But everything. So communication, alignment, assignment, making sure we understand our role and what we're doing, how we communicate with our teammates, and the situational awareness, on both sides of the ball, and also on special teams. We missed a few tackles out there. So we just got to clean up a lot of operational stuff and get back to the basics.
And you're 30 minutes of play away from heading to your 5th straight national championship appearance. What's your message to the team at the half?
Hey, like we do every week, we play each play, and we don't care about what's in the future. We just care about the now.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.
We welcome you back to Revere, Massachusetts in Harry Delarusso Stadium for the second half of action in this National Conference Championship game between the Alabama Fire and the Boston Renegades. If you missed the first half, it was an exciting one for the Boston Renegades. They scored 2 touchdowns by Tuti Kuusinen on the ground. Started 7-0 with Kuusinen's rushing touchdown, added one to bookend the first half to make it 35-0. Cahill with 2 touchdown passes in that first half, one in the first quarter to Pasquale, and the other one came in the second to Shantae Bonds. Ruth Mata added a rushing touchdown to make it 28-0. That's where we stand at the end of the first half, and to the start quarter number 3, a 35-0 lead for the Boston Renegades. Alabama deferred to the second half, so they'll start with the ball, and Kelly Smith right back where she picked up. Big stiff arm there at the end of the play against Glenn.
Kelly Smith, who's finally forced out of bounds.
Kelly Smith picks up the first down.
Alabama picks up a first down on that run.
Glenn, who had a interception earlier in this game, her second interception of the season, helped give Boston some favorable field positioning. Now it's Billingsley faking the handoff. Good job by Whitney Zealy to almost break it up, but here comes Kelly Smith again, keeping the play alive. Whitney Zealy had Billingsley dead to rights, but somehow she gives it up to Kelly Smith, and Smith is able to avoid a massive loss and any fumble there. Huge play by Kelly Smith to hold on. 2nd and 14 for the Fire. Now Whitney Zealy has upped it here in the playoffs. Big plays against DC defensively 2 weeks ago, and now again today. A forced fumble. Came in on Billingsley there, almost tipped by Darcy Leslie. Quick pass to Nelson. Nelson trying to bring down McFadden, but McFadden, a great job on the near side. Megan McFadden, a great stop. Oh, Kelly Smith and Nelson for Alabama. They are some players to watch. They are really shifty. They've got great agility and great strength. The Boston Renegades defense have done an amazing job defensively here against some quality players this Fire roster has. You think about their first year here in the WFA in a couple of years, and they've made the transition. Great pressure again, that time from Pasquale comes in. So Stephanie Pasquale trying to put some pressure on Billingsley.
Brings up 4th down.
4th down upcoming now for the Fire. Billingsley going to get the call from the sideline. Looks like facing this deficit, Alabama knows what they have to do. So they'll stay out there offensively. Billingsley gets the call, will rush back to the huddle, set everybody up. Dual running backs looking for Smith on the near side. Has a blocker in front, and Smith is taken down. A little spinorama from Whitney Zealy.
Kelly Smith in the backfield. Turnover on down. Boston ball.
Talk about comeback players of the year candidates. Whitney Zealy should be leading that conversation with the season she's having. Breaks through the line and does not let go of Kelly Smith. A turnover on downs, and it's back to the Renegades in positive territory for Allison Cahill. Cahill in shotgun formation. Katie Falkowski on the near side. Looks quickly down for Pelletier. A streamer through the middle, and Pelletier makes the completion. Down at the 16-yard line.
And that's good for a Boston Renegades first down.
6th reception on the season for Abby Pelletier. She goes over 75 yards on the year, has already 2 touchdowns. We'll see if Cahill targets Pelletier again. It's going to be Falkowski on the left side of Cahill. Smith moves closer towards the slot. 3 receivers on the right side. Cahill drops back. Some pressure from the fire. A lobber is just out of reach there for Katie Falkowski.
Pass intended for number 20. Katie Falkowski falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Well, we've seen Karusinen and Mata. Falkowski, 37 carries on the season, 320 yards, 5 touchdowns. Really, last year, Falkowski had a great end to the season, dedicated herself to this season, put on some more muscle, and you can tell from the season she's having this year, it's a career year for Katie Falkowski.
Hand off to Falkowski.
Small pickup there from Falkowski. It's going to be 3rd and 9 coming up.
Gain of roughly 1 on that play brings us 3rd down and 9.
Falkowski on the right side. Adrian Smith, the lone receiver on the left. Cahill trying to hand it off to Falkowski, and she's met immediately by Isom, and Isom will take Falkowski down for a loss on the play.
Falkowski taken down in the backfield by number 14, Carrie Isom. That brings us 4th down and long.
4th and long coming up for the Renegades. Looks like they'll keep the offense out there. Kaustanen and Cahill will take a peek at the wristlets. Trip receivers on the left side. Shantae Bonds, the lone receiver on the top of the screen. Cahill in shotgun formation. Fire went early. Looks like a free play. If there's a flag on it, there's a Bonds down, and Shantae goes back to reach for it. And Shantae Bonds, another touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Shantae Bonds. There is a flag on the play. And there is an Alabama Fire player down in the end zone. So player will be attended to there in the end zone. The flag, which looked like it was going to be defensive on the defense for the Alabama Fire. But right now the attention turns to the down player in the end zone. We talked about this Alabama team making the transition to the WFA. They've been around since 2016. We told you they made a previous stop in the conference, starting their seasons in the Women's Football Alliance before moving to the Women's National Football Conference for 2 seasons. Last year they finished as a 4 seed, made it into the playoffs, but fell in the first round. The WNFC had the Utah Falcons win the championship.
That game doesn't start until 8 p.m., so sadly, no updates yet.
So Energy and Slam playing in the American Conference Championship game is yet to start.
Nighthawks, 26 over the New York Wolves, currently at 21. Sadly, I don't know what quarter is because that's not posted.
So Kelly Smith is back up to her feet after the defensive play there on Shantae Bonds. So the flag,
Was encroachment by the defense.
defensive encroachment on Alabama. So Shantae's touchdown stands, her second. Such a crucial player to this Renegades team. We talked about her taking over for Allison Cahill in the quarterback position last season to help guide the Renegades to their 4th straight national championship. Bonds in the 2018 season had to play through injury, had a hyperextended elbow early in that 2018 year. Well, Shantae's done it all. A low snap, but Bear gets the kick up and good.
And Bear's kick is good. Get ready for the boom.
Another pass from Allison Cahill to Shantae Bonds. Those two have connected a number of times. So Vanessa Bear's extra point makes it 42-0. The Boston Renegades lead the Alabama Fire. Second touchdown reception on the day for Shantae Bonds. Third passing touchdown for Allison Cahill. Shantae now up to 10 touchdowns on the season, and Allison Cahill 26 passing touchdowns to just 2 interceptions. Came into today with a 135 QB rating. This is a booming kick downfield. Maggie Barden got all of that one hop, and it's fielded at the 15. Tequila Martin almost stripped out of her hands, but the play is called dead. So Alabama will start inside their 20-yard line. Well, Shantae Bonds. Well, Shantae, who's a math teacher outside of football, has dedicated her time and energy here to the Renegades. Her favorite moment with the Renegades was that 2018 championship. After 2 regular season losses and being on the road the entire playoffs, it was a surprising win for the Renegades to go on the road each time that season to win the championship. Also a big fan of City Winery in Boston, Massachusetts. Well, 2nd and 10 coming up for the Fire. Haven't gotten inside the Renegades red zone yet this season, or this game. Shotgun formation for Billingsley. We have Thomas to the left side. We'll wait to see if Kelly Smith checks back into the game. Low snap for Billingsley, looks to the left side, has McFarland. And that one, broken couple of tackles. Blue is going to get wrapped up and taken down at about the 40-yard line.
And that pass from Billingsley is complete. The Blue
McFarland closing in on 100 receiving yards this season. Hasn't scored a touchdown yet, but has been targeted here in this game by Billingsley. Courtney Billingsley came into today with a 101.7 QB rating. Haven't seen Sanisha Smith yet behind center. Another low snap picked up by Billingsley. Pump fake now goes through the middle. Pass is caught, but for maybe a gain of 1 or right back to the line of scrimmage.
Gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Lashana Irvin, primarily on defense, seeing a catch there.
The raffle is up to $910. Yes, $910. So that means the lucky winner would walk home with at least $455. So don't forget, like Linda Walsh, she's selling raffle tickets.
Fans, don't forget we're celebrating Cahill 420 and Allison Cahill's 20th season, entertaining you with facts and tidbits about Allison Cahill's career. Join in on the fun. Please bring your questions or your favorite memories to the broadcast booth or post to social media. Tag the Boston Renegades and use the hashtag Cahill420. Let's get all the memories.
3rd down and 10.
Slam and Vixen is the championship game in the American Conference. That game yet to start, so no scoring update on that one. 3rd and 10 coming up. Late substitution coming in for the Renegades. It's going to be Lisa Vincent. Alabama 3rd and 10, trying to get the right crew out there for the Renegades. Gamble guiding herself back onto the field. Looked like Boston was shorthanded with players on the field, and It's going to lead to a first down for the Fire. Rakitha Davis, the tight end, on the reception there. First and 10 for the Fire at the 38-yard line. Billingsley sweeps it back, end around here on the near side on the reverse. Nelson trying to find the lane. Nelson cuts it back through the middle and now picks up about 7-8 yards on the reversal.
Nelson on the reverse, taken down by number 23, Spring Gamble.
They'll spot that one at the 29-yard line, so 2nd and 1 coming up.
Brings up 2nd down and 1.
Another I formation here. Quickly handed off to Thomas through the middle. Thomas might have bursted forward for the first down. It looks like they'll give it to her. So Thomas with the first down. Alabama moving downfield here against the Renegades. Minnesota Vixen falling to the Boston Renegades in the last 2 national championships back in 2022 and 2021. I formation again for the Fire. Billingsley fakes the handoff, some pressure, and she's sacked. Met immediately by Lisa Vincent, and Vincent with a huge sack.
Billingsley. Loss of 6 on the play brings up 2nd down and 16.
Well, 2nd and 16 after that sack for Lisa Vincent. Alabama has moved upfield after starting inside their own 20-yard line during this drive. Pushed back after that sack. We'll see what Billingsley and this offense can do. Dual running backs. Billingsley drops it, has to land on it. It was a fumble and nowhere to go, so Courtney Billingsley will just land on it.
That brings up 3rd down.
3rd and 16 coming up for the Fire.
We got a heavy squad on freaking out there right now.
Well, after a 5-year retirement, Lisa Vincent back with the Renegades, being back on the field, trying to win a national championship. Renegades showing some pressure at the line. 3rd and 16 for the Fire. Billingsley trying to survey. Gets the snap. Whitney Zealy came in, had a hand on it. Now Billingsley just trying to avoid the pressure. Runs out, and out of bounds she goes.
Billingsley is forced out of bounds by number 45, Darcy Leslie.
Well, yet again, Whitney Zealy putting pressure on the quarterback. Gets into the backfield and forces Billingsley out of the pocket. 4th and 16. It's going to be Nelson, the wide receiver, on the left side. Rakitha Davis here on the near side. So Billingsley back in split formation. Renegades stacking the line. Darcy Leslie on the near side. Now Whitney Zealy. Renegades pull back. Zealy trying to break through. It's pushed forward. Billingsley was just trying to get rid of it towards a line woman. It was Unica Brown. Brown was not aware the pass was coming her way, and a flag on the play, and an Alabama Fire player down, slow to get up, but it looks like Billingsley will get helped back to her feet. There's a flag on the play. It's going to be intentional grounding on the Fire.
Intentional grounding by Alabama. Loss of down.
So it's going to be Renegades ball. 1st and 10 coming up for the Boston Renegades. 5:19 remaining in the 3rd quarter with a 42-0 lead over the Alabama Fire. It's going to be Cahill back out on offense for the Renegades, 5-time MVP. Reached 100 career victories back in 2016. Has continued to add to that total. As we talked about, this Renegades team on a 38-game win streak that dates back to 2018. Pasquale in motion, back out to the far side, gets the pass complete. Now Pasquale trying to follow the blockers onto the sideline and gains about 5-6 yards on the completion from Allison Cahill. Right back into formation, the Renegades go. Tuti Kuusanen, the running back out there. 2nd and 3, push forward for Kashani Dumont. Dumont wrapped up and taken down right at the first down marker. And Thomas in on the tackle. Dumont still trying to hold on to the ball. Looks like Alabama wanted to hold on. Dumont was at the bottom of the pile alongside, looked like for Alabama, Winicia Thomas. So Thomas trying to plead her case that she had possession of the ball. Dumont and this Renegades offense just trying to set up offensively. So we'll see what the flag on the field might be. They're going to pick up the flag.
And the flag is waved off.
We'll be seeing 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against the Fire so far. Cooler heads prevail, and it remains second and one coming up for the Renegades. Ball on the 47-yard line. Quick snap to Cahill, gives it up to Kuusanen. Kuusanen now breaking a couple of tackles, spins away and stays on her feet, and Tuti's taken down at the 31-yard line. Well, Tuti Kuusanen has been a bulldozer all game long.
And that runs good for another Boston Renegades first down.
First down for the Renegades, ahead 42-0 over the Alabama Fire. Winner of this one gets a berth into the national championship game in Canton, Ohio. Kuusanen set in motion. Cahill alone in shotgun formation. Drops back, looks downfield, has a player. It looked like Katie Ellison was spun around by Nelson. A late flag comes in. So Katie Ellison, the intended target, is going to draw the pass interference. Katie Ellison, we talked about her efficiency this season, picks up a bunch of yardage on her catches this year. Ellison averaging a league best 24.4 yards per reception. 6 touchdowns on the year, has none yet today. 2 touchdown passes to Shante Bonds, 1 to Pasquale for the Renegades. The rest of the touchdowns have come on the ground. First and 10. Ball on the 17-yard line. Kuusanen will take the handoff. Now Kuusanen cuts it to the left side and is taken down at the 5-yard line. Isom with some help there from Nelson. Also got some support from Thomas.
3 Alabama Fire players along for the ride.
It just shows you how short-handed this roster is when you've got Nelson, the wide receiver, playing safety and cornerback, as well as Winicia Thomas. First and goal for the Renegades. Cahill in shotgun formation, rolls out to the right, trying to get the pass through the middle. It's caught in the end zone. Stephanie Pasquale. Stephanie Pasquale in for the touchdown. Another touchdown for Pasquale on the season. It's number 5 on the year for Stephanie Pasquale. Well, the wide receivers getting in on the action here for the Renegades.
And there's Kirk is good. Get ready for that boom.
Fog comes thicker here at Harry Delarusso Stadium.
Boom.
49-0 the lead for the Boston Renegades over the Alabama Fire.
Don't forget, 50-50 raffle tickets are on sale through the third quarter. Get them now. Like I said, we're almost at $1,000. You could be going home with up to 500, if not a little bit more. 3 for 10, 8 for 20.
Renegades in control here in the third quarter against the Alabama Fire in the National Conference Championship game. Winner advances to Women's Football Alliance National Championship on July 22nd in Canton, Ohio. Renegades have made it to the last 6. They lost in 2016 to DC. They lost in 2017 to the Dallas Elite. That game down in Pittsburgh. They've won 4 straight, trying to make it 5 in a row on the road to Cinco. That's going to go back out of the end zone for a touchback on the kickoff. Barden has showed off her boot today.
As this game goes on, my boss man starts coming out more. The Fire will be starting off at their own 25-yard line.
Ball will be placed on the 25, 1st and 10 for the Fire here in the third quarter. Barden and Cliff Ashley, along with the special teams unit, going to celebrate on the near side. Billingsley remains under center. This time dual running backs, looks to the left side and broken up. Carolyn Glynn again. Another pass deflection. Glynn has been up and down this field. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10 for the Fire.
2nd down and 10.
Good to see Kelly Smith back out there, and it's pass to Smith. Will cut it right back and gain about 4 yards before she's pushed out of bounds. Well, Smith was a little slow to get up after playing defense on the Shantae Bonds touchdown reception. Was attended to on the sideline and right back into the action, so good to see that from Smith.
That gain on the play brings up 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6 coming up for the Fire. Nelson will be the receiver here on the near side. Thomas, the running back in the backfield. Kelly Smith in the slot. Billingsley looks to the left side. It's caught insecure on that far side by McFarland.
Billingsley complete. Number 25.
Blue McFarland, as we talked about, has been getting involved in this offense here in the second half. Another player that plays both ways for the Fire. 3 tackles for McFarland on the season. Shotgun for Billingsley. Hands it off to Thomas. Thomas going to gain about 2 yards before the Renegades stop her on the carry.
Hand out for Thomas. Gang tackle by Boston Renegades.
Benicia Thomas, another All-American for this Fire team.
Gain of roughly 3 on that play brings up 2nd down and 7.
Kelly Smith, Thomas, Dakota Thomas, offensive line woman Nikki Anderson, Carrie Isom, Lashana Irving, to name a few of the Alabama Fire All-Americans. A.G. Lacey, Winicia Thomas, as we talked about, Gio Thomas, and Montrese Presley round out the Alabama Fire. Renegades also with a number of selections for the All-Americans. Allison Cahill, Shantae Bonds, Adrian Smith, Katie Ellison, Ruth Mata, Tuti Karusinen, Katie Falkowski, all the running backs joining in on the fun there to the All-American honors. Steph Pasquale, Jess Hayden, Lisa Vincent, Amina Lettinen, Danielle Fournier, Whitney Zealy, and Vanessa Baer, all rounding out the All-Americans for the Boston Renegades. Whitney Zealy, another All-American honor to add to her trophy case. Shotgun for Billingsley. Nelson in motion. Looking for Nelson. Pass is complete. Nelson drops the ball. Nelson lost it for a moment. And Spring Gamble has taken it away. The question will be, did Nelson land on it? I don't think Nelson had full control as that one hit the ground on the fumble. So coming over to take it away, a fumble recovery for Spring Gamble. Now, the argument made by Nelson will be that she was down on the ground and had the ball down, but unfortunately she did not have possession of it, and maybe the official ruling that she didn't have control of it. So fumble recovery for Spring Gamble, and defense turns into offense for the Renegades. Heather Marini checks in at quarterback. Hands it off to Katie Falkowski and picks up about a yard.
Marini hands off to Katie Falkowski.
Marini on the season, 2 for 2 for 13 yards. No touchdowns, no interceptions.
Lost 3 yards on the play, picks up second down and 11.
They gave him a key so he can come in and like when, so they trust him. They're like, just walk out the outside doors and you're good.
Marini, 150 yards rushing. Is going to pass that one off to Mata. Mata's going to turn the corner, and Mata's going to be forced out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A reverse to Ruth Mata, and she turns the corner to pick up the first down and get into the red zone for the Boston Renegades. That's going to do it for the end of the third quarter. A big pickup for Boston to close out quarter number 3. We'll start quarter number 4 here on Revere TV and FTF Sports in just a moment. Back to action here in the fourth quarter. Renegades inside the red zone here against the Alabama Fire. Looking for some more insurance. Falkowski in motion. Giving up to Kawusanen. Kawusanen runs over a couple of bodies. A late flag comes in on the play. Kawusanen maybe picks up about 2 yards.
Kawusanen on that run, flag on the play.
Looks like this one is going to be a face mask penalty against the Fire.
Face mask against the Alabama Fire.
So another chance for the Renegades to pick up a first down And this one will be inside the 10-yard line.
Automatic
First and goal for the Renegades.
First and goal, Boston.
Tuti Kuusinen with Marini. Falkowski in motion and stopped in the backfield. So Katie Falkowski could not get the end around to work on the near side. Second and goal coming up. And looks like Cahill will come right back out there for the Renegades.
Brings up second down and a little bit farther to the
Shantae Bonds and Pasquale as well. Stephanie Pasquale check in. They're on the left side alongside with Adrian Smith. Kuusinen on the near side to the right of Allison Cahill. Fire looked like they were going to send the pressure. They did it. Now Ellison just overthrown by Cahill.
Cahill's pass intended for number 9.
Katie Ellison had the corner all alone.
Brings up third down.
Third and goal coming up for the Renegades. Well, Allison Cahill hasn't rushed for a lot of yards, but is closing in on the big marker as well for rushing yards in her career. Trav Kuusinen on the left side. Stacked receivers on the left with Shantae Bonds, the lone receiver here on the near side. Fumbled the handoff, but Kuusinen will secure it. Now stiff arm from Tuti, and now chugs along to the 5-yard line. Broke a couple of tackles, but stumbled down at the 5. Now brings up fourth and goal.
Brings up fourth down and goal.
Kuusinen, a pair of touchdowns for the Renegades today. Third quarter was all Cahill, a pass to Shantae Bonds and a pass to Stephanie Pasquale to make it 42 and 49 respectively, nothing. Cahill will send Kuusinen in motion. Looks to the left side, tries to get it to Smith and off the hands. A good defensive play there by the Fire.
And Cahill's pass intended for number 10, Adrian Smith.
Looked like Thomas and Tequila Martin were in on the play. So it's a turnover on downs inside the 10-yard line. And the Alabama Fire will have possession. Renegades trying to go for some more. Ends up an incomplete pass. It was intended for Adrian Smith. And now Alabama trying to get some points on the board here in the fourth quarter.
Birthday to 26-year-old Jackie Gorham. Happy birthday, Jackie. Thanks for coming and cheering your cousin Jack on.
Billingsley tries to hand it off, and Smith ran out of room, had to cut it back towards the outside. She's forced out of bounds by Kara Gailunas.
Looks like a loss of about a yard on that play. It's 2nd and 11.
So second down coming up for the Fire.
Sorry, I got my markers mixed up. It's actually second down now.
2nd and 9, or 2nd and 8 coming up for the Fire at their own 7-yard line. Passed or handed off towards Smith. Smith forced back, and that's Spring Gamble. Springs forward and forces Kelly Smith into the backfield for a loss of 2 yards.
Spring Gamble on that takedown.
Well, Spring Gamble has been all over it, had a fumble recovery, and now forces Kelly Smith, the leading rusher for this Alabama Fire team, back into negative yardage. Package subs come in for the Renegades, including Whitney Zealy. Also Bree Gallo checking into the game. The fog continues to pick up. This one almost intercepted. A good chance through the middle for Shayna Lyons. Shayna Lyons almost an interception.
Fourth down.
4th and about 11 coming up for the Fire. They have not been able to string a good offensive sequence together here in the second half. They made it as far as the Renegades' 30-yard line before being forced back. So another big 4th down coming up. Looks like the Fire will just try to kick this one away. Katrina Fincher, a safety and punter, will kick this one from her own end zone, and we'll get a Fire bounce as it's down at about the 20-yard line, maybe the 19.
Ball is down at roughly the 19-yard line. Boston takes over.
49-0, Boston Renegades leading the Alabama Fire.
And we know you have
Boston Renegades looking for a 5th straight national championship.
And supporting your Boston Renegades.
Got to give a lot of credit to this Alabama team as well. They came in, held Boston just 14 points in the first quarter. Haven't been able to get their offense going, but their defense was one of the reasons they've gotten to this point so far in the season. Only giving up 7 points to the Pittsburgh Passion.
That was a safety. Apologies. And that's why we had the boom.
So it looks like there's a safety at the end of that play. So I think the officials might have thought that she stepped out of bounds on the punt on that end line in the end zone. So the safety is registered. The Renegades get 2 more points, and they lead it 51-0. Now with the safety, the Renegades will get the ball back here on the possession. Gonna update the score here.
And because of the safety, the kickoff is at the 20-yard line.
So kickoff on its way as the Renegades will regain possession. Kashani Dumont fields it cleanly. Dumont looking for blockers on the left side, trying to turn the corner. She was grabbed for a moment, breaks a couple of tackles, and then Kashani Dumont gets into the Fire territory. Gets down at about the 38-yard line inside Fire territory.
Boston will be starting off at roughly the Alabama Fire's 38-yard line.
11:03 remaining in the fourth quarter.
The raffle ticket will be drawn. We'd like to thank William.
I want to thank our partners this season, or the Revere TV, our 2023 season broadcast partner. In addition to Revere TV, tonight's game is also being broadcast on FTF Sports.
With $560. $560! That's a lot of beer and candy. That's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for your support.
Renegades will send out Jackie Lane. Handoff up the middle. And Salters, who's going to pick up a few yards there. Latoya Salters comes in with 26 carries, 131 yards.
So we've got a Fire player down.
Lashana Irving, a little slow to get up there for the Alabama Fire.
All right, everyone.
So Jackie Lane will be behind center. 7 of 16 on the season for 51 yards. Has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Averaging about 7.3 per pass is Jackie Lane. Her longest throw of the year came a 34-yarder. 46.6 QB rating. 51-0, the Boston Renegades leading the Alabama Fire, trying to punch their ticket into the national championship game in Canton, Ohio. 10:48 remaining before tickets can be purchased, hotel rooms can be bought. It's a very superstitious Renegades group. They're not doing anything till It's all over with. A little slow on that tackle was LaShawna Irving. Got tangled up there, and she'll be helped back to her feet. It's a very tough group of players for the Alabama Fire. We saw Kelly Smith slow to get up, but she found her way back into the game, and LaShawna Irving is one of those players as well that it's not easy to get her out of a game or keep her out of a game. A good round of applause from both the Fire and Renegades faithful here at Harry Delarusso Stadium. It's been an incredible run for the Boston Renegades, who will extend their win streak to 39 in a row. Lane takes the snap, hands it off to Salter. Salter spins off of a body. That ball might have popped out. It looked like something popped out. It might have been a helmet or a ball.
It looks like a helmet popped off.
So Salters spun around, looked like Ashley Beckham. It's actually going to be Sam McKay, who lost her helmet on the play. Looks like a couple of late flags there after the helmet came off. So Boston, it's a personal foul against the Renegades. No. McKay getting some love here on the near sideline from the Renegades coaching staff. It's going to be a timeout. We're going to step aside here on Rivera TV. A 51-0 lead for the Boston Renegades here at quarter number 4.
If you have a red ticket, so sorry for all the blue tickets, but blue, you are still my favorite color. If you have red ticket number 5035550, that's 50, 35, 50. That's Alpo, my favorite player, next to Elsie Cahill and everybody else. So if you have 50, 35, 50, you just won $560. And Linda Walsh will be coming down. And just remember, you're buying beers at Canton.
We return to action down on the field here at Harry Delarusso Stadium. Jackie Lane back under center, third and long for the Renegades. Falkowski in motion here on the near side, trying to get it down towards Mata. It's intercepted. Lane intercepted by Nelson, and Nelson trying to rush to the end zone, has one Renegade player to defeat, and Nelson tripped up. Oh, it's fumbled into the end zone. A touchback. No, it's down. The official rules it down at the 5. Nelson was down at the 5.
Pass was intercepted. Nelson rambles down, but loses possession at the 5.
Destiny Nelson, the interception. What a play. Had one defender to beat, tripped up at the 5, is down by contact at the 5-yard line. And best play of the day for the Alabama Fire comes here in the fourth quarter. Well, Destiny Nelson read that play off the hands of Jackie Lane. It's the second interception of the season by Jackie Lane. Now Billingsley and this Fire offense trying to take the shutout off the board. Kelly Smith, high steps to the right side. Smith runs over a defender, stopped at the 5 and met by Karagai Lunis.
Hand off to Kelly Smith.
Erica Adams as well in on the tackle.
Tackle was made by Karagai Lunis and number 47, Erica Adams.
So second and goal coming up from the 5-yard line.
Second down and goal.
Stephanie Pasquale, 2 touchdown receptions. Shantae Bonds, 2 touchdown receptions as well. Tuti Kuusinen with 2 rushing touchdowns, and Allison Cahill with 4 passing touchdowns have led the Renegades. Alabama has not been in the red zone at all today. This is the first time they're trying to capitalize on it. Second and goal from the 5. Billingsley will be under center. I formation. Tequila, Martin, and Thomas. It's out to Martin. Martin gets the handoff, passes into the end zone for the touchdown. Tequila Martin with the touchdown.
Tequila Martin completes to number 29, Shanisa Smith.
Well, Shanisa Smith is usually the one throwing touchdowns behind Courtney Billingsley, but this time it's Tequila Martin. The first touchdown pass of the year for Martin. Two-point conversion is no good. Well, Tequila Martin to Shanisha Smith will make it 51-6. Boston Renegades leading the Alabama Fire.
Make sure you get your Renegades gear today. Check out the merch table near the concession stand and get your Renegades sweatshirts, hats, and much, much more.
Well, this Alabama Fire team, who was held scoreless throughout this one, finally put some points on the board and maybe a little momentum to close this one out against the Boston Renegades. I want to thank our amazing staff here on Revere TV for their outstanding work throughout the season. It's been a pleasure to be with you and bring you all Renegades broadcasts here on Revere TV at Harry Delarusso Stadium. This one kicked towards the near sideline. It's going to take a Renegades bounce. Just stayed sideways the whole way after the bounce, and it goes out of play. So this one's going to give the Boston Renegades some favorable field position to start here in the 4th. That was Destiny Nelson's interception that brought the Fire down to the 5-yard line. They were able to capitalize on the touchdown pass from Tequila Martin to Shanisha Smith.
Boston is opting to have that free kick.
So instead of taking the penalty and the field positioning, they're going to give Alabama the kickoff, but 10 yards further back.
Allison Cahill graduated from Princeton University with a 4-letter winner in basketball, and she's a member of the 1,000 Points Club. Yeah, she really is that good.
It's going to be Rakitha Davis kicking it off. There's another boot downfield right into the hands of Shantae Bonds. Bonds will field it, cuts it towards the inside, and it's Nelson trying to strip it away from Bonds. And Destiny Nelson was fighting for that ball against Shantae Bonds. Renegades get it back out to the 49-yard line. 8:35 remaining on the clock.
After the game to meet your favorite Boston Renegades players and coaches. They are excited to sign autographs and take pictures with you and your family. Just remember, as Schwartzy says, bring your own pen.
It's going to be Cahill back out for the Renegades. We saw Heather Marini and Jackie Lane with the interception, but here's a chance for Ruth Mata as she rushes out of bounds at about the 35-yard line. They'll mark it at the 36.
I'm from Birmingham, Mata. And with that run, Boston Renegades has a first down.
Mata already with a rushing touchdown for the Renegades. Cahill surveys the defense, takes the snap, hands it off to Kuusinen. Kuusinen puts her head down, runs over a couple of bodies, now a stiff arm, tries to get it through. Another helmet, looks like.
Hand off to Kuusinen.
It's going to be another helmet that comes off from Samantha McKay. McKay's second time having her helmet taken off. Another injured player down on the field for Alabama. Good to see Gio Thomas get back on her feet. Another one of those All-Americans for the Alabama Fire. So see what the flag is. It's going to be another face mask penalty against the Alabama Fire.
The Alabama Fire.
So we're going to push the Renegades down 15 yards. Another first down coming up for the Renegades. They'll be inside the 30-yard line now. It's actually be marked at the 16-yard line, so inside the red zone for the Renegades. .748 remaining. It looks like they're going to take McKay out. McKay's going to have to miss one play. So coming in for McKay is going to be Ashley Beckham. Cahill still in shotgun formation. Takes the snap, pushes it across, and a couple of bodies in front leading the way. Taken down just short of the first down marker. Well, the shovel pass. Another good one from Allison Cahill. 4 passing touchdowns already.
Shovel pass brings a 4th down and short.
Cahill with Falkowski, another one given up to Dumont, and Dumont turns the corner, and Kashani Dumont takes a hit at the end of the play. Isom with a little late hit there, and the Renegades are going to celebrate, not take exception to it. They know what is at stake.
Boom.
Definitely a late hit from Carrie Isom, but the Renegades will take it. They'll take the touchdown. Make it 57-6. Renegades lead it. 5 touchdown passes now for Allison Cahill on the day. Kick is up and good. Another good extra point from Vanessa Bear. 58-6. The Renegades have been in control since the start of this one. 7:10 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Well, let's get to learn Kashani Dumont a little more here on the broadcast. Dumont talked about her favorite memory at the beginning of the year. Scoring her first and second touchdowns are her favorite Renegades memories. This year she'll add some more touchdowns to add to that memory bank outside of football. She's a clinical lab assistant. So Dumont trying to find her way. Kashani, also a neat freak, admitted that she has OCD when it comes to putting things together. Another touchdown for Dumont. So Dumont, Pasquale, Bonds, all with touchdown receptions today. Renegades set to kick it off. This one is squibbered through the middle. Kelly Smith will field it. Goes out to the right side. Gets back in front of that Fire bench. And out of bounds she goes at about the 45-yard line. Kara Lunis forcing Smith out of play. 58-6 for the Renegades here in the fourth quarter. It was Tequila Martin to Shanisha Smith to make it 51-6. Cahill to Dumont to make it 58-6. Nelson and Thomas. Well, Thomas will head to the sideline. Nelson will stay back out there. Courtney Billingsley in shotgun formation here for the Fire. Three receivers on the left side. Billingsley looks for Nelson. That was cut off by Fournier. Has to go to the right side for Smith. It's caught. And out of bounds goes Kelly Smith.
Complete to number 7. Smith.
2nd and 7 coming up.
For Christian.
Blue McFarland back out to the right side. Two receivers on either side. Billingsley in shotgun formation with Smith in the backfield. Billingsley tries to go through the middle. It's off the hands of McFarland. Had a great line through the middle, beat her defender. McFarland just couldn't secure the catch. It's one of those, as a receiver, you push it down instead of securing it in the hands. McFarland will want that one back. It'll be 3rd and about 7. Actually, there's a flag on the play, holding against the Alabama Fire. Penalty is going to be declined. So 3rd down coming up for the Fire. 3rd and 7. Sanisha Smith on the near side. Alongside Nelson. Low snap. Billingsley looks to the right side. Some pressure from the Renegades and gets it away in time, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Under pressure, her pass ball is incomplete, and that brings up 4th.
Well, Danielle Fournier got some support there from Lisa Swanson.
And in other news, the Minnesota Vixen are
scoring update here in the WFA. The St. Louis Slam leading the Minnesota Vixen. It's a 7-10 score. Plenty of game left in that American Conference Championship. If the Vixen can pull off the victory, it'll be a Boston Renegades Minnesota Vixen three-peat, 3rd time that they'll be in the championship game facing off against each other for 3 consecutive seasons. Billingsley, quick pass to Smith. Smith has some room in front, will pick up the 1st down. Avoids one tackler in Bree Gallo and is tangled up, but picks up the 1st down.
Billingsley complete to number 7, Smith. Taken down by number 32, Guy Lunis.
Kara Lunis in on the tackle. It's a 1st down here for the Fire.
Fire has 1st down.
1st and 10 coming up from the 43-yard line. Looks like Billingsley will have Kelly Smith to the left side. Destiny Nelson here on the near sideline. Witten, the lone receiver at the top of the screen. Tequila Martin in motion. Billingsley drops back. Some pressure there. Avoided the sack and then just overthrows Witten on the far side. Great pressure here on the near side from Mina Lettinen.
Pressure up the middle from Mina Lettinen. Minshew. Billingsley's pass ball incomplete. Brings up
another product out of Finland here for the Renegades. So much talent from across the globe, even here domestically, players that travel on weekends to play with the team and make as many practices as they can. Renegades trying to make it to another national championship. Nelson takes the pitch, follows blockers to the right side. Nelson now cuts it back inside, picks up about 2 yards on the dive forward. Well, Destiny Nelson showing how quick she can be. A little slow on the tackle over there on the far side for the Renegades. Looks like Spring Gamble's going to get back to her feet.
Spring Gamble on that tackle.
Now a big third down here coming up for the Fire. Trying to keep this drive alive. 4:30 remaining here in the fourth quarter. It's become a lot chillier from when kickoff started. Cloudy and some mist coming in. Not too far from Revere Beach here at Harry Delarusso Stadium. Revere Beach, home to the sand sculptures, sand castles that they make over the summer. Billingsley's pass is incomplete on the far side. Revere Beach, Hampton Beach, some of the beaches here in the Northeast. The 4th and 9 coming up for the Fire. Ball on the 42-yard line. Renegades have sent some subs in here defensively. Kelly Smith to the outside. Tries to beat Whitney Zealy, but Zealy's just going to force her out of bounds.
Kelly Smith on that run.
That's going to be a turnover on downs as Smith cannot pick up the first down.
Boston ball.
The Renegades will take over at the 39-yard line.
This request goes out to Stacy Emilio Albert.
Well, the Renegades trying to win a 6th conference title. Already 7-time division winners. In motion. Hand it off through the middle. Tuti Kawusanen, look at the speed from Tuti Kawusanen, bursts through and picks up the first down. Well, these decoy runs for the Renegades has created some room up the middle, and Tuti Kawusanen with her strength has been able to capitalize on it against this Fire defense. Looks like maybe too many players on the field here as Alabama had a player rushing off. 1st and 10 coming up for the Renegades, but it's an illegal substitution on the Fire. It's going to be 5 yards to the Renegades, so 1st and 5 coming up.
I was trying to readjust, it's my bad.
1st and 5. Mata in motion. Marini hands it off on the near side. A good read inside to stop that play from developing. Another great stop on the tackle for Gio Thomas. Another player who we saw down for the Fire earlier in the game, and Thomas right back with a vengeance to stop that play. 2nd down coming up. Thomas looking to break through again, unmarked on the near side. There's Thomas, there she goes, and reads it again, but this time gets picked up by McKay. That's going to be a 1st down rush through the middle, and it looks like McKay might be flagged for holding.
Doesn't work, try again. Katie Polkowski on that carry.
And it is going to be a holding penalty against the Renegades. Well, Gio Thomas was lined up, unmarked, came back in, and nothing much that Sam McKay could do but grab on to Thomas, force the Renegades back here. So 2nd and 16 coming up for the Boston Renegades. Substitutions on the near side. It's going to be Ruth Mata and Katie Falkowski checking out. Barden will check in. Looks like Renegades going to send out Jackie Lane. Back across. Another pass that's for a loss of about 2.
Forrest's pass to Maggie Barton completed, but lost on the play.
3rd and 18 coming up now for the Renegades.
3rd down and 18.
Lane has Barton to the left. Pelletier in the near side. And Paige Myatt here on the near sideline. Rolls out, looking downfield, and off the hands. Almost caught there, but just overrunning the route. Was looking for Vanessa Bear. Another flag on the far side of the field. Well, Bear had it off the fingertips. We'll see who the penalty will be against. Renegades going backwards here on this drive. 1:04 remaining in the 4th quarter. So it's going to be a personal foul against the Renegades. Unnecessary roughness.
Unnecessary roughness on Boston. They'll back it up.
So Renegades will be forced back 15 yards on the penalty. It's going to be 4th and a long way to go. Renegades will look to punt here. Special teams unit out there. Kelly Smith and Destiny Nelson back to field the punt. Heather Marini back to punt it away. High snap, settled under it. Marini will boot it down the right side and will take a bounce out of play at about the 44-yard line. So the punt will go out at the 44. 46.4 remaining, and the Alabama Fire will have a chance to put some more points on the board before this one closes out. First and 10 coming up for the Fire offensively. It's been a great season for the Alabama Fire, who finished the regular season undefeated at 6-0, upset the Pittsburgh Passion with an 8-7 victory. Had a touchdown called back at the end of that game, which would have given Pittsburgh a big win late in that one, but Alabama was able to hold on and make their way to Boston for the first trip ever. It's a team with a lot of promise, a lot of talent, and an ownership group that's really committed to making this team a staple in the Women's Football Alliance. It's going to be a timeout for Alabama.
You got timeout, Alabama.
22.8 remaining. Get a chance here to get the final substitutions, finishing touches on this one.
We'll be headed to the National Championship weekend. As I alluded to earlier, we'll be in Canton, Ohio. The WFA Pro Division Championship game will be held on Saturday, July 22nd, and televised live on ESPN2. That's right, The Deuce. So if you can't make it to Canton, and why can't you? You can tune in to ESPN2 and watch the WFA National Championship game.
Well, in their first ever meeting together, it's a game that's been dominated by the Boston Renegades, leading it 58-6 over the Alabama Fire. Alabama with a second down coming up. Less than 30 seconds to play here in the fourth, and a date with a national championship game for the Boston Renegades on July 22nd. Empty backfield for Billingsley. Trying to go outside for Smith. Smith, great hands again, trying to break through the tackler and carry Guy Lunis. And Guy Lunis holds on to make the stop. Looks like a timeout. A timeout on that far side. So a timeout.
And that's the end of the game.
So it looks like Alabama wanted some time on the clock. They called for a timeout immediately after the play, so there's going to be time on the clock. Not over yet, folks. Not over yet.
Just a little bit time on the clock. Little preemptive on that boom. Apologies, militiamen.
It's going to be first down coming up.
It is a first down with 9 seconds left to play.
Another chance for the booms to go off. Billingsley looks to the near side. Pass is complete. Flipped over to Smith. Smith trying to get back around and through the middle. Cuts by through one defender. And Smith trying to keep it alive. Spun around and down.
And the latter play has been taken down.
That's going to do it. The final horn sounds here for the Renegades against the Alabama Fire. A 58-6 dominating victory for the Boston Renegades, who will now go to another National Conference Championship game, their 7th in a row, and looking for their 5th consecutive National Championship game to bring back home to Revere. It's been a spectacular season to be with you. As always, a privilege to broadcast these games for you here on Revere TV. For our wonderful production crew, our amazing cameramen and women throughout the season, I'm Luis Sanchez saying so long from Harry De La Russo Stadium, where our final score are the Renegades 58 and the Alabama Fire 6. Have a safe and wonderful trip to Canton, and good luck in the Women's Football Alliance National Championship.